Shalom, Akim. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rekal Kodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. Peace, love, and salutations to all the hopeful like Akim that's laboring this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. Shalom to the newly coming in Akim, and shalom to the confusion of face Akim. The children of Israel are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, according to prophecy. Now, I'm Akim Wasap, and today's lesson is entitled Spiritual Power is Only for the Children of Israel. All right, spiritual power is only for the children of Israel. Now, I'm gonna start off reading in Leviticus 26, where it goes into the blessings. All right, if we hearken unto the Lord and we follow His law, statutes, and commandments. Now, we are in these sinful bodies. All right, which the scriptures refer to them as being chains of darkness, you know what I mean? Which means that these bodies is subject unto vanity, is subject unto going off. So pursuant to Jeremiah 31 and Hebrews 8, the Most High is going to put that law make a new covenant with the children of Israel and put the law, statutes, and commandments in our inward parts, meaning that we're going to be programmed, with the knowledge and wisdom of the Most High and the law, statutes, and commandments to where we will never go off. In fact, it's also written that basically with transgression of the law, statutes, and commandments comes death. So if we're programmed to never go off in sin, that means we will never die, and we will live forever. All right. So I'm going to start in Leviticus chapter 26, verse 6. It says, and these are the blessings. It says, and I will give peace in thy land. All right, because it's also written that once the kingdom of heaven is established, that it will be no wars anymore. You know what I mean? We will be at rest. You know what I mean? It says, and ye shall lie down, meaning be at rest. All right, which is the kingdom. It says, and none shall make you afraid, meaning no nation will try to come up and besiege our land, overtake us, overthrow us. You know what I mean? Take our women captive, take our resources. Why? Because pursuant to Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, Salakia. Yeah, Isaiah, the 2nd chapter. Give me 1 second. It says, Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2, it says, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh house shall be established. Now, the mountain of Yahweh's house is the children of Israel, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It says that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. So mountains represents government. So the children of Israel, the nation of Israel, is going to be put back on top. All right. Be above all nations, because pursuant to Deuteronomy 7:6, the Most High have put the children of Israel above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Right now, we're in a low condition. We're the poor and needy, so we're under all these heathens, man. You know what I mean? But once the Most High put us on high, all the nations will be below us, as it's supposed to be. It's once again says that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow into it. So we're gonna be put back on high, man. You know what I mean? So that's why here in Leviticus chapter 26, verse 6, it says, and I will read Slaki. It says, and none shall make you afraid. Why? Because we're gonna be back on top. And these nations, these heathens that have been ever reputed as nothing, is gonna know that the Most High is with us. You know what I mean? We've been married back or adopted back into the Most High, and the Most High is truly showing Israel favor on a high level. It says, and I will rid evil beasts out of the land. It says, neither shall the sword go through thy land. Why? Because there's not going to be any wars anymore. Now, in fact, let me see if I can try to find it in the book of Revelation. Chapter 21, It says, chapter 21, verse 1, it says, and I saw a new heaven and new earth. Now, the new heaven, that's talking about rulership. That's the children of Israel getting into power. Because pursuant to 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter, the 9th verse, it says, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So that new heaven, meaning rulership, that's talking about the children of Israel ruling. It says, in a new earth, because once those ICBM missiles, 200 million of them, penetrate parts of the earth, you know, it's going to replenish this place as well, because fire is a purifying agent. You know, this so-called white man, which is the devil the Bible speaks of, have polluted the earth with injecting GMO and all kind of chemicals in it to try to yield forth its increase. That's why this place is barren and we're eating defiled food amongst the heathen, you know, which is also a curse, you know. But the food that we eating has to be injected with chemicals in order for it to, you know what I mean, have an abundance in the land. But continuing on in Revelation 21, verse 1, it says, and I saw a new heaven and new earth. So now you know what that's talking about. It says, for the first heaven, talking about the rulership, talking about Esau, Edom, the heathen rulership. It says, in the first earth, meaning the ways of which the earth or the condition that earth was in, it says, were passed away. All right. And there was no more sea. Now I'm going to go down to the 4th verse, because in Leviticus 26, it speaks about, neither shall the sword go through thy land. So this is Revelation chapter 21, verse 4. It says, and the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. Now the there, that's talking about the children of Israel, which will look like everybody. You know what I mean? Because pursuant to Revelation, the 7th chapter, the 9th verse, it speaks about the children of Israel. All right. I'm actually read it. Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. It says, and that after this is John the Revelator on the island of Patmos, seeing a vision of the children of Israel receiving their salvation. And this is talking about the elect thereof. It says, Revelation 7 and 9, it says, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Now, the all nations and kindreds and people, that's talking about the children of Israel, because when you read in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, it speaks about the children of Israel being dispersed throughout the 4 corners of the earth. All right. That's one of the curses that the children of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, would have to endure for transgressing the law, statutes, and commandments. So when John the Revelator seen that great multitude without number being presented before the Most High and the Lamb, he seen all nations, kindreds, and people. Why? Because we look like all nations, the children of Israel. All right, but back here in Revelation, the 21st chapter, in the 4th verse, it says, and the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. Now you know who that's talking about, the children of Israel. It says, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. So when we read here in Leviticus chapter 26, in the 6th verse, and it says, neither shall the sword go through their land. The sword is it's twofold, because the sword is Esau, Edom, you know what I mean, the wicked. But the sword represents, you know, death and destruction, you know what I mean. So continuing on, Leviticus chapter 26 and 7, it says, and ye, now this is the point about the spiritual power, which is a blessing for the children of Israel. Leviticus 26 and 7, it says, and ye shall chase your enemies, and they shall fall before you by the sword. All right. 8, and 5 of you shall chase 100. So 5 men. All right, because men are the ones that fought in battle. All right, the women and the children, they stayed home. Okay. It says 5 of you shall chase 100. Okay. 5 men will chase 100 men. It says, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight. and your enemy shall fall before you by the sword. Because the children of Israel, as I begin the video with, will have the law, statutes, and commandments in their inward parts. But the heathens, the other nation, which a heathen is any nation outside of the children of Israel, they're not going to have the law, statutes, and commandments written in their inward part. That's why in Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, the 3rd verse, it says, and many people shall go and say, the many people are heathens. It says, come ye and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, talking about the children of Israel. It says, to the house of the Most High of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways. All right. Teach us of his ways, meaning that the heathens is not going to have the law, statutes, and commandments written in their inward parts. And actually, to prove that the children of Israel is going to have the law, statutes, and commandments written in their inward parts, I'm going to pull this real quick. I know I'm a little everywhere, but, you know, this got to come out. Now, this is Hebrews chapter 8 and 10. It says, for this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. I will put my laws in their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power. It says, and they shall be to me a people. It says, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor, talking about your brother, your Israelite brother and sisters, and every man his brother. See, there it goes, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. All right. So the children of Israel aren't going to have to teach each other, because what? The law, statutes, and commandments in the ways of the Most High is going to be written in our inward parts. In fact, this is Apostle Paul speaking. And all he did was reiterate what was said in Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, starting at the 31st verse on down. So now when you go back to Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, the 3rd verse, I'm going to read it again. It says, and many people shall go and say, come ye and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh. All right. The many people is the heathens, non-Israelites, to the house of the Most High of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways. All right. And we will walk in his paths, for out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. So Jerusalem is going to be basically like a hub, kind of like a Washington. All right. Now, going back to Leviticus, the 26th chapter, it says 26 and 8. It says, and 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight, and your enemy shall fall before you by the sword. Why? Because the heathens is not going to have the law, statutes, and commandments, so they're going to be subject unto vanities. They're going to be subject to going off. So we're going to be having to execute judgment in the land. All right. When you read in Psalms 48, it speaks about, you know, the children of Israel, the men thereof, having a literal sword in their hand. You know what I mean? And when you read in Revelation, the 2nd chapter, it speaks about the children of Israel. I'm actually just get it. Revelation chapter 2, verse 25, it says, but that which ye have already hold fast till I come, talking about this knowledge and wisdom. It says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end. That's the point. Because the Lord said, unto the end, just roughly paraphrasing it, the ones that's going to be saved is going to be the ones that enduring unto the end, the same shall be saved. All right. It says, continuing on in Revelation 2 and 26, it says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Our nations, starting with these heathens. It says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. All right. It says, as the vessel of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received on my father. So brothers is going to have spiritual power in the kingdom, and that's a blessing only for the children of Israel. I know I was a little everywhere in the vid, but the point is the children of Israel will have the blessings of spiritual power in the kingdom. All right. Lord willing, brothers was edified. Until next time. Shalom.